Every morning, like clockwork, you brew that first cup of coffee. It's your quiet moment before the day begins. Maybe you sit at the kitchen table, check the newspaper or your phone, and enjoy those few minutes of calm. But lately, as you look down, you notice that belly fat just won't budge, even though you're eating better and trying to stay active. After 50, our metabolism slows down naturally. It happens to all of us, and it's not your fault. What if that same morning coffee ritual you already love could gently help turn things around? Imagine adding just two simple ingredients you probably already have in your pantry, fresh lemon and a pinch of cinnamon, to create a warm, comforting drink that science shows can help boost your metabolism, support steady blood sugar, and make it easier to finally lose those stubborn pounds around your waist, all without giving up your favorite morning routine. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how to make it, step by step. And if you're over 50 and ready to give your morning coffee a simple upgrade for better results, drop just one word in the comments below. Yes, I'll know you're in this with me. 1 lemon. Let's start with where everything begins. Fresh lemons and their vibrant, freshly squeezed juice. When you cut into a lemon and see that bright, juicy flesh, you're not just adding flavor. You're activating a set of natural signals your metabolism recognizes immediately. Lemons are naturally rich in vitamin C, flavonoids, and citric acid, and each of these plays a quiet but meaningful role in how your body handles energy, digestion, and fat storage. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Biochemistry and Nutrition suggests that lemon polyphenols may help support healthy body weight by reducing the tendency for fat to accumulate over time. In plain language, these plant compounds don't burn fat directly, but they help influence the environment in which fat is stored. Think of them as gentle regulators rather than aggressive stimulants. Over time, that kind of subtle influence can matter far more than quick, extreme interventions. Citric acid adds another layer of support. It helps stimulate digestive enzymes and supports more efficient fat processing during digestion. Many people notice that lemon improves how light their stomach feels in the morning, and that's not accidental. A smoother digestive process can reduce bloating and help nutrients move through the system more effectively, often making the abdomen appear flatter even before any scale changes occur. Here's where it gets especially interesting. Vitamin C isn't just an immune nutrient, it's essential for producing carnitine, a compound your body uses to transport fatty acids into cells where they can be converted into usable energy. Without enough vitamin C, that transport system becomes less efficient, meaning fat is more likely to stay stored rather than used. This is one reason people with low vitamin C levels often struggle more with fatigue and stubborn weight. Fresh lemon juice also supports hydration, which is an often overlooked factor in metabolism. Mild dehydration can slow metabolic processes and increase perceived hunger. Starting your day with lemon-infused fluid helps replenish water stores after sleep and gently signals your body that it's time to wake up, digest, and mobilize energy. And let's not ignore the sensory side of this ritual. The sharp citrus aroma, the clean, tangy taste, it all creates a psychological cue that the day has begun. That matters. Habits tied to clear sensory signals are easier to repeat, and consistency is what turns small metabolic support into long-term progress. So when you squeeze fresh lemon juice, you're doing far more than adding tartness to a drink. You're extracting a concentrated bioactive blend that supports digestion, hydration, metabolic signaling, and energy use. It's a quiet foundation, nothing flashy, nothing extreme, but it prepares your body for what comes next. Now that you understand why lemon matters, stay with me, because the next ingredient is where this drink really begins to wake your metabolism up. 2. Coffee. Once lemon has set the stage, it's time to introduce the element that truly switches your metabolism into action. Coffee does far more than sharpen focus or pull you out of morning grogginess. Inside every cup are two compounds your body responds to almost immediately: caffeine and chlorogenic acids. Together, they send a clear signal that it's time to wake up, mobilize energy, and start using fuel more efficiently. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that caffeine stimulates thermogenesis, which simply means your body produces more heat and burns more calories as a result. Studies suggest this effect can raise metabolic rate by roughly 3 to 11%, depending on dose, timing, and individual sensitivity. That may sound modest, but here's the key point. It's reliable. Unlike extreme stimulants that spike and crash, caffeine's effect shows up consistently, especially when used thoughtfully. Caffeine also influences how your body accesses stored energy. By stimulating the nervous system, it encourages the release of fatty acids from fat tissue, making them more available to be used as fuel, particularly during movement. This is one reason many people feel more inclined to walk, stretch, or exercise after their morning coffee. That indirect effect matters. Increased daily movement compounds metabolic benefits far beyond what any single ingredient can do on its own. Quick check-in. Are you a daily coffee drinker? If yes, drop just one word in the comments right now, coffee, and keep watching. Now let's talk about chlorogenic acids, the lesser known but equally important component. These natural antioxidants are found in coffee beans, especially when they are freshly ground. Research suggests chlorogenic acids can slow the absorption of carbohydrates in the digestive tract. In practical terms, this means glucose enters the bloodstream more gradually, helping prevent sharp blood sugar spikes. When blood sugar remains steadier, insulin levels don't surge as dramatically, and your body is less likely to store excess energy as fat. This balance is particularly important for abdominal fat. Frequent blood sugar spikes, followed by crashes, can drive cravings, fatigue, and emotional eating later in the day. By smoothing out that roller coaster, chlorogenic acids help create a metabolic environment that favors energy use over energy storage. Coffee also plays a role in mental clarity and appetite regulation. Caffeine influences neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine, which can temporarily suppress appetite and improve focus. For many people, this means fewer mindless snacks and better decision-making around meals, especially in the morning, when habits tend to set the tone for the entire day. Timing matters here as well. Consuming coffee earlier in the day allows its thermogenic and appetite-modulating effects to work when your body is naturally primed for activity. Later in the afternoon, those same effects can interfere with sleep, which is why moderation and awareness are essential. Poor sleep, after all, is one of the fastest ways to disrupt metabolism and increase hunger hormones. There's also a sensory element worth acknowledging. The rich aroma, the warmth of the cup in your hands, the familiar bitterness softened by citrus. These cues create a ritual. Rituals reduce decision fatigue and increase consistency. And consistency, more than intensity, is what drives lasting metabolic change. So coffee isn't just something that wakes you up. It reshapes how your body manages energy throughout the day, how calories are burned, how blood sugar behaves, and how likely you are to move, focus, and make supportive choices. Used intentionally, it becomes a metabolic ally rather than a nervous system stressor. 3. Cinnamon. As this drink begins to warm your system, one ingredient quietly steps in to keep everything balanced: cinnamon. Beyond its comforting aroma and gentle sweetness, cinnamon plays a strategic role in how your body manages energy, especially sugar, which sits at the center of cravings, fat storage, and energy crashes for so many people. Cinnamon contains cinnamaldehyde, a natural compound that has been widely studied for its metabolic effects. Research published in the Journal of Nutritional Science and Vitaminology suggests that cinnamon may support insulin sensitivity. In simple terms, this means your body becomes better at moving sugar out of the bloodstream and into cells, where it can actually be used for energy instead of lingering in circulation. Why does that matter so much? When blood sugar rises quickly and stays elevated, your body responds by releasing more insulin. Over time, repeated spikes can make cells less responsive, increasing the likelihood that excess glucose gets converted into stored fat, especially around the abdomen. By helping blood sugar remain more stable, cinnamon reduces the signals that tell your body to store rather than use energy. This stability has ripple effects throughout the day. More balanced blood sugar often means fewer mid-morning crashes, less intense afternoon fatigue, and a noticeable reduction in sudden cravings, particularly for sweets and refined carbohydrates. Many people don't realize how often they eat not because they're truly hungry, but because their blood sugar has dipped, Cinnamon helps smooth that roller coaster. Cinnamon also has mild thermogenic properties, meaning it gently encourages your body to burn a small number of additional calories as it produces heat. This effect isn't dramatic on its own, but paired with caffeine's stronger thermogenic signal, it adds a layer of steady support rather than overstimulation. Think of it as a quiet background process, working consistently without demanding attention. There's also an important emotional and sensory component here. The warmth of cinnamon sends a calming signal to the nervous system. That sense of warmth and comfort can reduce stress-driven eating, which is a major contributor to stubborn belly fat. Stress hormones like cortisol are closely linked to abdominal fat storage, and anything that helps create a calmer internal environment supports healthier metabolic patterns over time. Cinnamon's role becomes even clearer when you view this drink as a system rather than a collection of ingredients. Coffee provides the spark, increasing energy and metabolic activity. Lemon prepares the terrain, supporting digestion, hydration, and fat transport. Cinnamon acts as the regulator, preventing sharp spikes and crashes that would otherwise undo those benefits. This balance is especially important as we age. The body becomes less forgiving of blood sugar swings, and even small disruptions can have outsized effects on energy, appetite, and weight distribution. Cinnamon helps restore a sense of metabolic rhythm, something many people haven't felt in years. Think of cinnamon as the steady hand on the wheel. While coffee accelerates and lemon clears the path, cinnamon keeps the system from veering off course. Now the real question is this: when these three ingredients come together, do they simply coexist, or do they create something more powerful through timing and synergy? Stay with me, because that's exactly what we're about to explore next. For synergy. Now here's the question that truly matters. When these ingredients are combined, do they simply exist side by side, or do they actually work together in a smarter, more effective way? Stay with me, because this is where the real value of this drink reveals itself. Once you understand how this synergy unfolds inside your body, the importance of preparation and timing will suddenly make sense. This isn't about tossing ingredients into a cup and hoping for the best. It's about creating a simple, intentional morning ritual that respects the potency of these natural compounds and allows them to work in harmony. Let's begin with the lemons. Start with 2 fresh lemons, ideally organic, to reduce the chance of pesticide residue entering your wellness drink. Rinse them thoroughly under running water, pat them dry, and cut each lemon in half. Take a moment to look at the flesh. It should appear bright, vibrant, and juicy. Using a citrus juicer or your hands, squeeze all 4 halves into a small glass bowl. Collecting about 3 to 4 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, set this juice aside for later. We'll return to it at the final stage. Before you discard the lemon halves, there's one important step left. The outer colored layer of the peel, known as the zest, contains essential oils rich in limonene, a compound studied for its potential role in supporting healthy weight regulation. Using a fine grater or zester, gently remove thin strips of zest, taking care to avoid the white pith underneath, which can introduce bitterness. You'll need roughly 1 tablespoon of finely grated zest. Next, it's time to build the infusion base. Place a small saucepan on your stovetop and add the lemon zest directly into the pan. Measure out 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon and add it to the zest. If you prefer a softer, more rounded flavor, you can break a cinnamon stick into smaller pieces instead. Now add the coffee component, 1 teaspoon of ground coffee. If you're sensitive to caffeine, begin with half a teaspoon and adjust gradually. Using quality ground coffee rather than instant is important here, as freshly ground beans contain higher levels of chlorogenic acids. Pour 2 cups of filtered water into the saucepan with the ingredients. Place the pan over medium heat and bring the mixture to a gentle boil. Once it begins to boil, reduce the heat to low and allow it to simmer for exactly 15 minutes. This simmering time is key. It gives the bioactive compounds enough time to infuse into the water while helping preserve heat-sensitive nutrients. There's one important medical consideration to mention. If you're currently taking medication for diabetes or have been diagnosed with hypoglycemia, it's wise to consult your healthcare provider before adding cinnamon to this routine. Cinnamon can lower blood sugar, and when combined with medication, levels may drop too low. Are you still with me? I know this process sounds detailed, but every step has a purpose. In just a moment, I'll show you the final touches that transform this infusion into a complete metabolic drink and explain the best time to drink it so your body can truly make use of everything you've prepared. 5. Timing. After 15 minutes of gentle simmering, your kitchen should feel alive with an invigorating aroma. Bright citrus rising first, followed by the warmth of cinnamon and the deep, comforting notes of coffee. This is your cue. Turn off the heat and let the mixture rest for 2 to 3 minutes, allowing everything to settle before the final step. Now it's time to strain and finish the drink. Place a fine mesh strainer over a heat-safe glass or mug and slowly pour the infusion through it, catching all the solids. What's left in your cup is a golden amber liquid, holding the water-soluble compounds from all three ingredients. Discard the solids, then return to the fresh lemon juice you set aside earlier. Add 1 tablespoon of that juice to the warm infusion and stir gently. This final touch boosts vitamin C and brings a clean, tangy brightness that lifts the entire flavor. At this point, you have a choice. You can drink it as it is, embracing the natural tartness and slight bitterness. Or you can add 1 teaspoon of raw honey for softness and subtle sweetness. Honey also contains antioxidants and antimicrobial compounds. That said, if your main goal is weight management, consider skipping sweeteners altogether to avoid triggering an insulin response. Now let's talk about timing, because this part matters. For the greatest metabolic support, drink this first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Research suggests that compounds like caffeine and polyphenols are absorbed more efficiently when your digestive system isn't busy processing other foods. Aim to drink it about 30 minutes before breakfast. This window allows caffeine to begin its thermogenic effect, while the lemon compounds gently prepare your digestive system for the day ahead. You can prepare this drink once daily for a 7-day period and simply observe how your body responds. Notice your energy levels, your appetite, and even subtle changes, like how your clothes feel around your waist. Remember, this drink is meant to support, not replace, a balanced diet and regular movement. Some people enjoy a second serving in the afternoon, around 2 or 3 o'clock, when energy naturally dips. If you're sensitive to caffeine, though, avoid drinking it after 2 p.m. to protect your sleep. Before we go any further, there's something important that many wellness videos skip over: realistic expectations. While the combination of coffee, lemon, and cinnamon does offer metabolic support backed by science, no single drink can magically erase belly fat in 7 days. The idea of spot reduction, losing fat from one specific area, has largely been debunked. Your body decides where fat is lost based on genetics, hormones, and individual physiology. That said, visceral fat, the deeper fat around the abdominal organs, is often one of the first to respond when metabolism improves and calorie balance shifts. This is why the drink works best as part of a broader wellness approach. Think of it as a daily ally. Coffee boosts energy and may help you move more. Lemon supports digestion and nutrient absorption. Cinnamon helps stabilize blood sugar, reducing cravings and emotional eating triggers. Together, they don't promise miracles, but they do create the right conditions for progress to begin. Here's what realistic progress looks like. Over 7 days of consistent use, paired with mindful eating and regular movement, you may notice less bloating, smoother digestion, steadier energy, and possibly a 1 to 2 pound change. A flatter abdomen often comes from reduced inflammation and water retention at first, and that's a normal, encouraging sign. For lasting results, continue beyond 7 days while focusing on whole foods, lean proteins, vegetables, and healthy fats. Cut back on processed foods, excess sugar, and refined carbohydrates. Combine light cardio with strength training each week. Research consistently shows that diet plus movement delivers the most sustainable outcomes. Listen to your body. If coffee and lemon on an empty stomach makes you feel jittery or uncomfortable, adjust by pairing it with a small snack or taking it after a light breakfast. Progress is personal, and smart tweaks matter. So what's the bottom line? This drink offers real metabolic support, but long-term success comes from your daily habits. We've covered the science, the preparation, and realistic expectations. Sustainable health doesn't happen overnight. It's built through small, consistent actions. Used thoughtfully, this drink can become one of those habits that compound over time, supporting thermogenesis, digestion, and blood sugar balance. If this video helped you, type yes in the comments and tell us what you're noticing. Please like, share, and subscribe to Senior Health Guard. Next up, a simple morning habit to stabilize blood sugar and reduce cravings after 50.